All right, guys, today we are back here in the house. Grace is still a little bit under the weather, but she's getting better every day. So today I'm going to make another thing for you. It's another holiday specialty, but kind of an all-year-round specialty of mine. It's the thing that I get asked to make at work more than anything else, and by others. And
I've been told by my coworkers that it is the most delicious thing they've ever had.
They might be the best candy-ish bar
There's
treat
nothing not to like
in the
about
world.
them.
They are called Scotcheroos.
Now, I will tell you this. I had another coworker once upon a time called them Special K bars.
Well, that would be if you use Special K, but these are Rice Krispies, and that's a different thing altogether.
But it's the exact same thing. It's just a different cereal. Anyways, what do you call them? If you know this recipe. I don't know. We want to find out. So here we go. And if you couldn't tell, I'm Brent's elf assistant today because I love Christmas. So Christmas sweater.
Christmas.
All right, what do we got, babe?
Okay, so first thing that we're going to do, the majority of this dish is done on the stovetop. There's not a whole lot to show right here, but we're going to get started. The very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to count off 6 cups of Rice Krispies. We're going to put those into a bowl and just kind of hold off on them for a minute. It's not
Is that bowl
time.
big enough?
Oh, yeah. All we're doing is holding Rice Krispies in them right now. So we got 1, 2 1/4, 3, 4, 5.
Those look a little light on the cups there.
The more Rice Krispies that you have, then just the less peanut buttery and candy-y they might be. So it just depends. So 6 cups right there. We're going to set it aside until we're ready for the next step, okay? Now, what we're going to do, get this stuff out of your way.
Well, why don't I help you? I can be your assistant.
All right.
Assist me. I mean, tell me how to assist you. What's up, boss? What do you need?
First thing, if you want to help me out with this, then.
I do.
All right. So, I want you to spray that.
So normally Brent and I cook by ourselves. So if I'm cooking for the day or baking for the day, I do it, and vice versa. I need a little throw towel since I don't have an apron. Okay, what's next, Jeff?
Okay, so now that
Jeff?
Thank you, Jeff. Jeff.
now that we've got the spray in there, we're going to count off 1.33 cups of corn syrup.
Oh, I can't see from that side.
So normally
1 cup.
Normally we would use light corn syrup in this recipe. They were kind of out of light corn syrup right now. Dark is the same. It may just have a little bit deeper of a flavor.
Richer?
If you have the opportunity to get the light, maybe, I mean, this is the first time that I've made it with dark. Maybe it'll be the greatest thing in the entire world. Maybe it'll make it even better.
We, of course, since we are baking and there's sweets and peanut butter involved, Lucy wants to be a part of the action because, you know, it smells good. 1/3. That's right. How much you said, correct?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've got our 1.33 cups of corn syrup. Booyah. Next thing that we're going to do is add a cup of sugar. You've got the cup measuring
Cup.
right there. Give me a cup of that.
We keep a spoon in our sugar because, you know, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
Yeah.
Or, in this case, gets in the way of the measuring cup. You have to pour it in like that.
No, you don't.
I just do it all at once.
Okay. Okay.
I can already tell Brent's like, this is
This
so much
is-
easier if
Yeah.
I'm not in the way.
This is not working very well. Okay, now that we've got the corn syrup and the sugar in our pot, the next thing we're going to do is take it over to the stovetop, and we're going to do a little simmer action.
Hey, like this video. You know you do. Make sure to subscribe if you don't already. Give us a little comment. We love the feedback. Brent reads them all. He responds to them all, but give it a like. So now we're at the stovetop, right?
Yep, we are at the stovetop. We're going to set this at about a 4, which is medium heat. What we're going to do is get this corn syrup, get this sugar kind of melted together. The biggest problem that you have, and the reason that I think these Scotcheroos don't turn out perfectly all the time, is that you have the tendency to cook it until the stuff boils in there. Once it boils, then it turns into a candy, and then after everything is cooled down and the bars are made, then they tend to get a lot harder a lot faster. The key with this recipe is that you just heat it until the ingredients are melted together, but not boiling, not barely even simmering. You don't want to see any bubbles at all. You just want to see it get smooth, and then we take it off the heat and we do the next step.
I'm glad you answered my question because I was going to ask, how do you avoid that?
You just don't cook it.
You just
As
don't
long.
cook it. You're just mixing well.
Yep. So, like I said, rather than waiting for it to start bubbling, you're just going to make sure just the feel, the look, it's already gotten lighter in color, you can tell, which
So it's
means
a constant stir.
it doesn't have to be 100% constant. It just, the longer that you just let it sit, the more apt it is that it's going to start burning on the bottom. So you don't want that to happen. But while we do that, the next thing I'm going to do here real quick, while this is simmering, well, not simmering, but melting, is we're going to pull out a cup of peanut butter. You want to use creamy peanut butter here. I'm team crunchy peanut butter in all aspects of life except for cooking, because the peanuts just don't do well when you try and cook with them. So,
Let us know, are you team crunchy or team creamy?
yeah, in real life, because the baking part of it doesn't
That
count.
doesn't count. I am team creamy all of the way, which Brent is perplexed by because I like crunch. It doesn't make sense. I don't claim to know anything. So then, gotta
You
stir
can
that
see
up
we're
again.
still
Make
giving it a
it's
stir.
good. Just
You're-
mixing in.
You're going to get some stuff up on the sides of the pan that are going to turn all kind of bubbly and crystally, and you just want to keep scraping those off of there so that they don't
That's normal.
end up burning on the sides. Yep. It's normy.
So would you have to approximate an amount of time on the stovetop?
It just depends on how hot your stove gets and how hot the pan is that you're doing it in. I mean, probably 5 minutes would be my guess. Maybe a little bit less than that. You're just really going by feel and by look more than you are by anything else.
I guess what we can do is we can watch this back because
When you time it.
yeah, the time on the stove is up. Because I'm thinking of people who the thought of even doing this is a lot of steps and a lot of work, and they want to impress their friends and family with the most delicious dessert in the entire universe, and this would be it. And it's easy.
Okay, so we're just getting ready to, it's almost to the point of boiling. We don't want it there. We want to turn it off
down.
right now. When you're stirring it around, you can tell that there's no grittiness to it. It's just all melted, and it's turned a nice little color. Like I said, if you're using the light corn syrup, it's going to be a different color, but it's still going to be, you know.
You know.
All right, so we're
They
going to
don't
put...
know. Maybe they've never made Scotcheroos.
So we're going to put this first cup of peanut butter in here after we've turned off the stovetop.
That's an important thing to
Yeah,
know.
make sure you turn it off. Then we're going to do roughly a third cup. I'm not going to bother wasting another
Measuring cup.
cup for that. I'm just going to eyeball here and really... I mean, I guess you could get too much peanut butter in it, but it's not like it's an absolute science or anything. Okay, so once we've got that in there, we're going to just stir this up. Let it melt down. Just the residual heat from in the pot is going to be enough to melt the peanut butter.
Now, this is, I think, a, 4-quart pot that you're using?
So probably, yeah.
Could you do it in something smaller, or does it need to be that big?
This part you could do in something a lot small. Well, I guess here's the thing.
Not a small saucepan, but maybe medium.
The melting part of it you could do in something smaller. The reason I use the bigger one is that we're just going to go ahead and pour the Rice Krispies into this and stir it all in here.
So if you have a bigger pot,
Yeah,
use
you could
it
definitely
so
do
you
it.
save the dishes.
Right. You could do it in a saucepan and then pour that into another bowl and stir up if you want to, but I just like to just do it in this one fell swoop. Okay, so you want to get in here and take a look at what this looks like?
I sure do.
Okay, so it is now completely melted. It's completely creamy. It's ready for the next step, which
it basically just looks like melted peanut butter, truthfully.
Exactly. We're going to do 1 teaspoon. I'll get my teaspoon so that you can see that I'm actually measuring here.
1 teaspoon. I mean,
1 teaspoon
to me,
of vanilla.
Vanilla is one of those things you measure with your heart, kind of like garlic.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, if I wasn't doing these videos to show people how to do stuff, I would just do it by eye because that's how I cook. That's how most people cook once you get the hang of things.
I'm going to say the pros do it that way.
Yeah, in my opinion, cooking is you use a recipe to get an idea of something or to get an idea of how long to cook something, of what kind of ingredients go into food, and then you do it yourself. Wild card. You decide what you like, what you don't like, you add more, you subtract some. That's it. Okay, so this is all stirred in, ready to go. We're going to walk it back over to the countertop and finish it up.
Walkies. All right.
Okay, so
We
now...
walked back over.
All right, so now we've got this back off the stove. We've got it here. You can see it's kind of like liquid peanut butter. I mean, fudginess, I don't know, whatever. But
Melted peanut butter.
yeah, we're going to take a 9x13. We're going to give it a spray.
It's a thick boy.
Yeah. So the next thing that we're going to do is just start dumping these Rice Krispies in here into the peanut butter mixture.
I can dump while you stir?
That's fine.
You're stronger than me.
Okay. So we're just swishing, pulling up from the bottom, rolling it over, making sure that everything, your hands are going to touch the bottom of this and you're going to burn yourself. So don't do that. So while I'm
So if you're
stirring...
making this with kids,
Yeah.
the pan is hot.
Yeah, while I'm stirring this, if you wouldn't mind
I would not mind.
measuring out some chocolate chips and butterscotch chips.
I can do that. How much of both?
You're going to do 1 cup of each into that bowl.
And they're going to go in the microwave, so you want to put them into a bowl to melt them.
Yep. We're just using the same bowl that we had the Rice Krispies in.
Save a dish.
Yep.
1 cup of each.
Yep.
So butterscotch chips, again, we get off-brand of everything because it's cheaper and it tastes exactly the same. Now, is this one where like, dog, you want to add the exact amount of chocolate
No, it
chips
doesn't
and
matter.
butterscotch, but if like you like it extra chocolatey, add
If you
more.
like more butterscotch flavor or more chocolate flavor, go for it.
Cup of each.
Put those in there. We're going to put those in the microwave for 30 seconds. Take them out, stir them up. 30 seconds, stir them up. However many times you need to keep adding and stirring until it just becomes a smooth paste, I guess. So as you can see here, we've got the Rice Krispies completely coated in the candy mixture. We're going to just dollop these down into the baking dish.
Lucy. Okay, so this is 2 times through. 2 times through. You can tell it's starting to melt a little bit, but it's not there yet. So I'm going to do probably another 2 bursts of 30 seconds.
Honestly, once it starts looking like it's starting to melt, once you stir it up, then the heat will disperse and it'll melt a lot faster than you think that it's going to. So I'm not sure that you'll need 2 more, but we shall see.
I'll check it midway through.
Okay,
Is that
so-
spatula ready to use to stir?
So after you get the Rice Krispies into the pan, you're just going to smooth it all out into an even layer here. You could use a piece of wax paper and smash it down like you would do
What about that fancy
Rice
thing we
Krispie
have?
treats if you wanted to, but you don't need to.
That thingy?
No,
What's
that's
that
not for
called?
that.
Yeah, so not quite melty enough. You don't.
See,
I'm not strong enough.
once you get it moving around in there, it melts
A lot more.
a lot more.
So
Maybe 10 seconds.
10 seconds? I've got it on for 14, so we're going to do that. What you think, Chef?
Okay, so this is, what do we think, about just over a minute probably
Minute
total?
and a half total.
A minute and a half total.
Mhm.
Make sure you don't just cook it a minute
Through.
and a half
You have
in
to.
one fell swoop. You need to stir it up. But now we're completely melted, just one solid liquid state, if you know what I'm saying. So
It doesn't have any inconsistencies in
correct.
the texture.
You can't see
It's smooth.
You can't see any more morsels in there or anything. So all we're gonna do now is just dump this out. Don't worry about getting it in any kind of good order right here. We're just getting it out of the bowl
And into the pan.
and into the pan. Out
And
of the frying
again,
pan.
scrape it all out because you want every last drip of this goodness. I keep mugging the dog because she usually just is a potato and doesn't move at all. And for some reason now, because we're cooking and filming, she's like, I'm going to walk around. I'm going to drink some water. I'm going to snarl.
You want to lick
Yeah, I want to lick the bowl.
the bowl?
Uh-huh. It's just peanut butter.
If you were any more famous, they would make a meme out of what you just did right there. But
You know, I don't care.
other than the few people that watch these videos, nobody knows who you are, so it's okay.
Good thing.
So we're just going to push this around like we're icing a cake. Just make sure that all of the
What is that
Krispies...
thing called?
A spatula?
The fancy one.
What are you
That
talking
you
about?
use to, like, even out a cake. We have
That's
one.
an offset spatula, but
Offset spatula.
we don't need that because that's for a cake that's rounded, and this is just inside this thing. We don't.
So it wouldn't do the trick here.
I mean, you could use it, but it would be overkill.
Gotcha.
IMO. It wouldn't be
Dirty
needed
up
for
another
this
dish.
because I'm easily getting this done.
You are. Thank you.
Okay, so as you can see, we've got it topped. You can't see any more of the candy mixture in the bottom, the Rice Krispies. All we're going to do now is let it sit. Let it sit until it cools and the topping hardens a little bit. You can put it in the fridge if you want to. I wouldn't personally. This is one of those things that I don't ever put in the fridge because you want to keep it room temperature so that they're crunchy but also soft at the same point. If you put them in the refrigerator, they do tend to get crunchier and crunchier, and not crunchy, hard, like to the point where you'll break your teeth off.
It's not a good texture.
No, you don't want that. So
And I've had them that way before.
yeah, we're gonna clean this up. She's gonna lick this spoon.
Yep.
We're gonna let this go for half hour or so, and then
We'll
we're
try it
gonna
out.
cut it up.
And I will tell you, if you couldn't tell, I don't ever make this recipe. This is a Brent only recipe. So he did a really good job of letting me be his sous chef, but normally he does it all by himself.
The dream would be to get a house with a giant kitchen that's got plenty of room that we can help each other cook without being in the way.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many of you that are watching this have kitchens at home, and it's like, you know what, it'd be a cool thing to cook with your significant other or your spouse or your kids or whatever, and then once it actually happens, then you're just in each other's way the whole time. And that's
there's
kind of...
Frustration.
Yeah, it's kind of where we're at here. It's fun to be in the kitchen together. I wish that we had some way to view this so that she could be sitting on the bar stool just drinking and talking to me while I'm doing this, kind of like Emerald Lagasse, but
Okay.
we don't have that
So
set up
next
right
time,
now. So
I'll
Yeah.
bring the chair over
there
and
you
I'll
go.
just
She's
drink.
way too pretty to not show. I mean, and we all know that she's the fun one here, so she's got to be in the
I
scene.
mean, the person licking the spoon.
But yeah, no, I'm good. Thanks.
So, while Brent is cutting up the Scotcheroos, I'm going to give you a bonus recipe. This one is 21 over. You just need Fireball and rum chata, a glass with some ice cubes in it. I've already put the ice cubes in it. You might need someone to unscrew it. Just do equal parts. If it splashes a little, that's fine. It spills everywhere because, you know, it happens. Oh, I've not opened this. Can you open it for me? Thank you, sweetheart.
You're welcome.
I have many... it was a little wonky. I have many strengths, many talents, many gifts. opening.
Hand strength is not one of them.
Yeah, opening things. Hand strength is not one of them. And a shot of rum chata, so equal parts. Let's be honest, I usually do 2 of each, but for the sake of time, we're going to go with 1 of each. Stir it around. I'm ready for my Scotcheroo, my dear. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille. What is that from?
I have no idea.
That was like always said in all of the movies growing up. Do you know
I've
what I'm
never
talking
heard of it before.
What? Okay, so how long did this sit for? I know
Not
we
long
let
enough.
Not long enough, because we let it sit
Probably
for
an hour or
probably
so.
an hour, because we had dinner in between. So it's still a little soft.
You can see it's set. It's just not
So
hard to
because
sit.
you said half an hour originally, I would say maybe closer to 2 hours.
Yeah.
Let it sit.
Maybe.
Oh. Okay, so Scotcheroos, delicious. They're soft, peanut buttery, chocolatey, crunchy, just everything you could look for in a dessert. I'm not a big chocolate person, but I do love peanut butter, and the fact that it's butterscotch and chocolate chips equal parts, I think that it kind of lessens the chocolatiness, and that's why I like them so much. One of my favorite desserts, no oven needed. Pretty easy.
It's true. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy.
And this recipe, also easy. Give it a whirl. It just tastes like, Cinnamon Toast Crunch milk. With a little bit of cinnamon in it, a little bit of kick. So we hope you enjoyed this recipe. Give it a try if you've never made them before. It's easy. You can do it. And let us know what you think. Happy holidays!